All right, so we are back with another video. Today we are reacting to the art of dropping out of college. Saw this video on my homepage and decided that I was going to react to it with you guys, share my thoughts on the subject. So let's jump into it.
I go to college, it's community college. It's not that expensive, whatever. And I just couldn't stand it, man. I hate stuff. I just want to be a YouTuber, that's it. And so after 2 weeks, literally just 2 weeks, I just stopped going. But I didn't have enough money to move out. I wasn't making anything. So I just didn't tell my mom. And then I would act like I was going to college. And then I would like just sit in my car in the college campus and just work on videos or edit or just work on a script or something. And then I'd come home and I'd be like, hey mom. Thankfully, I don't remember what happened. I remember sitting in like on the stairs in front of one of the college classrooms. I was like talking to James, one of the people you met. And I was like, yo, I don't know what the going on, but like I've just been grinding every hour of the day, and I just pay like 20 grand a month. I was like, I'm ready to like tell mom that I'm failing every class and move out tomorrow. And he's like, okay.
Is it true that your parents were sending you money for college, thinking you were still in college and you were actually already in New York, traveling toward a music career?
Yeah, my mom would send me like some money every like 2 weeks for books and like food and my rent. So I use that on like gas and taxis or like plane tickets or whatever. I was spending the money on like clothes, whatever.
Yes, I officially dropped out of college. The college videos is what made the channel, I'm not even gonna lie. But let me tell y'all something, man. When you know that something is holding you back from getting to the next level, it's like you just have to sacrifice that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm going to miss college deal, but I just...
All right, so I'm just going to interject here really quickly. When it comes to the topic of dropping out of college to pursue your dreams, you have to divert resources from attacking your dream to doing homework in a subject that you might not necessarily care about. It is a valid topic. However, guys, I feel like a lot of the times I see this with a lot of people that I know personally. Y'all are jumping the gun too early. Y'all be dropping out of class week 1 and you're not seeing any income from that side business, that side hustle. You're not seeing any money from that YouTube channel. Don't even got 1,000 subs, but you're convinced that you're the next Kai Cenat and you're dropping out. Bro, if you don't get your ass back in that lecture, listen guys, the sentiment with dropping your weight load with things that you have to focus on, it's a valid sentiment if two things are clashing. But if your side hustle is not making any money, you're only going to make things harder for yourself, because a lot of the times what people don't realize is if you're in the very beginning stages of that side hustle, that side career, or that side business that you're trying to build, you're not generating any income. And you guys know I preach this on the channel all the time. By securing a certification or higher education, you now give yourself the opportunity to earn income and transfer that over into the business, the side business that you're doing currently. That's not a hindrance. You can then take that money that you're earning and now you'll have a higher earning ceiling, higher earning potential. Take that, transfer that over to the side business, and reinvest that back in the side business. Now you have money to get a better camera, a better equipment. You have money to get a team. That'll help get you off the ground a lot quicker than trying to get it out the mud. No income, no higher skills. Because a lot of the times people don't realize these things take years, gang. But anyways,
came to a realization that it was actually holding me back in the long run. Off camera, it was just stressing me out. Homework, having things coming on that time when I had to focus on you guys. If I know that my dream could work, I'm going to put it before anything.
The art of dropping out of college is a very strange phenomenon, because in school we are trained to feel like the only way to find success and be a functioning member of society is through the obedience of a system that wants you to endlessly work. This usually involves graduating high school and immediately going to school for 4+ years while simultaneously putting on thousands of dollars of debt. And if you ask me, this is BS. I mean, at 18 I can't buy alcohol, a cigarette to cope with the stress of transitioning from a kid to an all-adult world. But for some reason I can gain thousands of dollars of debt that will follow me for the rest of my life. A very strange construct indeed. So when you see some of the most successful people...
all right, all I'm going to say with this is a very gross oversimplification of that concept. Yes, there are certain things you can't do at 18, but you can acquire a whole bunch of debt. That debt that you're taking out was supposed to be rediverted into helping you increase your skills and your earning potentials. That's the main part. They're not giving you $100,000 for you to go and, buy 10 LV bags with. That's to reinvest into yourself to take you from earning minimum wage $15 an hour to be able to make 60, 70, 80K. Granted, you choose a high income degree. That's what that money's for. So that That's a gross oversimplification of the argument, but let's tap into it.
People drop out of college and literally go against what society has told us our whole lives to be successful and go on to succeed in what they want to do. It really makes you start to wonder, should I drop out of college? Well, have no worry, because by the end of this video, you should know whether you want to drop out of college. And not only that, but you will understand why so many people who drop out of college end up being so successful. Before we get into that, like, subscribe, and make sure you comment under this video because it helps support the channel. Without further ado though, the art of dropping out of college. First and foremost, I want to say you do not need to drop out of college to be successful, the same as you do not need to go to college to be successful. Success is a mindset that manifests in the physical. Successful people aren't successful people because they receive lots of success, but rather they know they are successful people, they operate in that frequency, so they attract physical realities that coincide with that belief system. A frequency is an energy state in which things reside. A perfect example, depression. That is a frequency that a lot of people willingly stay in. You can walk in a room and just knowing two people don't like each other because you can feel their frequency. You can apply this to any feeling, place, or thing in life. College is a perfect example, or more specifically, the college experience. Going to sleep at 4 a.m. to then wake up for an 8 a.m. class and then fail your quiz that literally is like 40% of your grade. Having sex with two people in less than a week and not knowing either of their favorite colors. Sitting in your dorm feeling broker than Danny Green's jump shot and having to call and ask your parents for money. This is the college experience, a frequency that so many college students, myself included, have, will, and are still going through. So when you drop out of college and leave this frequency, something magical happens in the universe. Life is push and pulls, cause and effect. So for you to have the audacity to go against a current like college that is so powerful, the universe will fully aid you in succeeding. Because since you pulled away from a strong energy current like college that is believed by so many, given so much energy to, you will get an equal and opposite reaction in the energy needed to succeed. On the other side of fear is confidence. You literally just have to make that jump. It's like when you see a character in a movie or even in real life where they get laughed at, people say they're never gonna make it, or they reach an extreme low in life. And as time goes on, they end up succeeding in insane amounts. It's the natural balance of things.
Yeah, that's not how that works. As somebody who very briefly dropped out of college to pursue their dreams, that's not how that works. No one's making you go to college. Yes, there's peer pressure and societal pressures to be on the same track, but at the end of the day, no one's making you do that. You go to college to increase your skills, to increase your income. And a lot of people sleep on this fact or tend to ignore this fact about college, but college is the fastest way to level up your income. Go work a 9 to 5 you don't really want to do, but you're doing to pay your bills. You'll quickly realize that there's levels to 9 to 5s. The more enjoyable ones require a certification or a degree. Again, if you drop out with no plan, despite what this nigga's saying, like, you're not gonna immediately, I'm gonna rain on some of y'all parades, but you're not gonna drop out and immediately meet success. Especially you don't have no plan, especially you have no side income. You have no other revenue being generated and you drop out, you're cooked. And that's the reality for most people. You can decide that school isn't for you, but a lot of dudes drop out of college thinking that like they're on now, that was the precursor and they're just going to be handed success. Bro, you gonna drop out of college and then in a month you're gonna realize you're not saying nothing. And then what are you gonna do?
I used to edit until 5:30 in the morning, bro. Knowing I had a class at 8 o'clock, bro. My roommate used to look at me like, damn, bro, I swear to God, bro, look. Bro, I was broke. Bro, look. Last time I asked my mom for some money, bro, was when I was in college, bro. I used to walk around that campus like, damn, like, I used to walk around that campus like, bro, how am I gonna get, like, I don't have no money, bro. Everybody was good, bro, and I asked my mom, but every time I asked my mom for some money, she always gave it to me. No hesitation, bro. No hesitation.
If you are open to it, the frequency of success will push you where you need to go, but you have to give up your old life to step into your new one. To further my point about how dropping out of college can contribute to success so much, I'd like to use an example of Kanye. He kind of embodies my point of being laughed at, ignored, and then going on to be extremely successful. And not to say a lot of bad things have to happen to you or you have to reach an all-time low for success to happen, because that is false. But Kanye was in a mindset that he was a musical genius, that he was a god, way before anybody else saw him like that. And as a college student, he felt backed up by a lot of the work he was getting, but it all was in vain to him because he knew what he really wanted to do, which was music.
I always tell people college is a choice. High school is a necessity, but college college is a choice. A lot of times people go to school because it's what their parents want them to do. They're chasing someone else's dream. If you're picking out Christmas gifts, you might have $500 and you got this list and you know exactly what you want to get. People go to school and they're spending $8,000, $10,000 a year, $15,000, and they have no idea what they want. Just stop. Just stop. Wait a second before you sign all those loans, before you put yourself in debt for the rest of your life, and say, what do I want to do with my life?
All right, that I will agree with. A lot of people, including myself at one point, go to college just because they don't know what's next, and they go into college without a plan. And I think college is a very expensive investment if you don't already know what you're getting out of it. And if you're going to college just for the experience or just because everybody else is going and you don't want to feel left out, then in that case, yes, I would recommend taking some time to figure out what it is that you want to do so that you get the most out of that investment. I would still advise you go get your get your education, get your money up, get your certifications up, get your credentials up. You want to be a billionaire, you want to be a CEO, right? Most CEOs have MBAs. Get your education. Most CEOs have degrees, but you over here talking about you don't need yours. Go learn how to balance a budget. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if you don't know what you're getting out of the degree, you shouldn't feel pushed to rush into a degree just so you don't miss out. And because that's how you end up wasting money and that's how you end up wasting time.
And the Grammy goes to the college dropout, Kanye West.
He was producing for some artists already, but his ultimate goal was to be a musical icon who shaped the culture, which he did go on to do. But notice how I just said he already know what he wanted to do. Oftentimes, college can be a distraction for a lot of people. This is due to various things like the new environment of horny people your age, parties, drugs, alcohol. But one of the most important ones I'd like to highlight is the work. The workload given in college can be extremely hard and stressful. And it gets that much harder and stressful whenever it feels like it's not contributing to your purpose or goal. So if you're a person that knows what you want to do, you're working as hard, if not harder than you already are in school at it, especially if you're relatively young, like 18 to 23.
Quick thing I'm going to say, life doesn't get any easier. Those distractions are always going to remain. That level of workload only gets worse. You can isolate it and get away from it for a certain point in time up until adulthood, but that real marker of adulthood, you're balancing 10, 20 problems every month. It doesn't get any easier. College teaches you how to manage that, manage your mind during difficult situations. That's the main point of what I was trying to say.
And it doesn't involve college, that normally is a sign to go ahead and drop out of college. Because the time you're putting into those assignments would benefit you immensely if you transitioned it into your actual goal. But you have to be sure. Success, God, and miracles have no room for doubts or uncertainty. Kanye's certainty of his decisions, even when other people weren't, is what ultimately allowed him to continue through even when it didn't look so promising. But to go back to frequencies though, another reason why people who drop out of college end up being so successful afterwards is because they understand frequencies a lot better and are now able to apply it to whatever they want. One thing I can say about the college experience is you learn about who you are, where you fit in, and how people work. And if you understand people and how they work, then life becomes that much easier for you because it's easy for you to make friends, to have others to help and be in your corner. And college normally is a key for things like this because it teaches you how to network, how to say the right things to the right people. Or like I've been saying, you understand how to get on people's frequency.
One thing I'm going to say to that too is there's two main purposes for getting a college education. The first and most obvious part is the credential, but the second least talked about part is the networking aspect of it. A lot of times in business, you'll hear this a lot, your net worth is your network. And in college, you get to rub shoulders with professors, you rub shoulders with people that might have a dad that's an executive Fortune 500 company. You might rub shoulders with people that want to start their next startup. You might rub shoulders with other creatives. Broadens your network outside of just a couple hundred people that you knew from high school, and it expands it, which you can then use to hop on. All of these things can be used to making more income. It's an expensive way to network. It's an expensive way to credentialize yourself. But all of these things are towards that goal of making sure you make more money, broadening your network, helping you get that job a lot easier.
When someone whose boyfriend just got locked up for selling drugs because he couldn't find a job and he had three strikes and he had the X on his back, so there was no work opportunities. When she hears drug dealing just to get by, stack your money till it gets sky high. We wasn't supposed to make it past 25. Jokes on you, we still alive. Throw your hands up in the sky and say we don't care what people say. That right there. It's like a family member speaking to them. The music on this CD was, I was only the vessel for this. God was in the studio with me when I was working. Even I don't know in the future, I don't know if I'll be able to make anything like this, because this was my healing process. This was my rehabilitation CD.
So after he understood that frequency, after he realized he was a successful musical artist, and most importantly, the thing I hope you take from this video, he knew what he wanted. The easiest part was dropping out of college, because that didn't serve the frequency that he was operating within anymore. I want you all to not fear the future. Although sometimes, yes, it can feel uncertain. If you know who you are, what your life is. I say is because you have to already know that you have the thing that you want. Let God handle the rest and take the next step. So many people are trying to figure out how to walk the path, how to get to the destination, when really you just gotta let God handle that. Decide where you wanna go, put it in the GPS, press go, and let the path reveal itself to you, because that's the art of dropping out of college. Appreciate y'all, boy.
Alright, I'm gonna assume that's pretty much the end of the video. The only thing that I don't like about this perspective, towards the broader topic of dropping out of college, is this nigga makes it sound like dropping out is a precursor to success, and I need niggas to be realistic, bro. If you already got some motion going on, I'm gonna like give you guys the real big brother perspective. If you already got motion going on and you already seeing money from your side hustle, enough money to the point where you could sustain yourself, sustain your expenses for a while, and college classes are starting to conflict with that interest, then by all means, when you're measuring opportunity costs, you should take that risk and go with the thing that's generating you revenue. But a lot of the times, dudes will drop out of college, no revenue, no backup plan, just vibes. Yo, school ain't for me, bro. And that's fine. But dudes be dropping out with no backup plan. Dudes be dropping out with no backup plan thinking they next up. You not next up. You haven't done no work. You don't got no other motion right now. School is your motion and you dropping it. A lot of people don't realize that. I said this earlier. I'm going to say it again. Getting a degree, getting a credential, certification, anything is the fastest way to level up your income. You start a business, you start any side hustle. The reality is you're not seeing income for the first 4 to 5 years every day. And you still got to eat. You still got to pay your bills, bruh. You still got to pay your bills. You still got to eat. Where is that money coming from? But you dropped out of college, so now you got to go, flip packs, move boxes, hustle at that McDonald's or that Burger King or that Costco or that Walmart or that Old Navy. And it's going to suck even more. But if you had the degree, you get you an office job, theoretically speaking, in a perfect universe. I know the economy. Don't yell at me. I know. But theoretically, perfect universe. Get you an office job. Low stakes. Not that labor intensive. You still got energy when you get home. Now you have more money. You got energy and money to put into your side business. And that's what people don't realize is, yes, you can take the risk and drop out, but you will make things 100 times harder for yourself. Chasing your dreams doesn't, and this is about to be the realest thing that I'm going to say. Chasing your dreams doesn't need to be that hard. Chasing your dreams doesn't need to be some struggle fairy tale. You don't need to chase your dreams and be broke, my nigga. You could chase your dreams and have money. I'm going to say it again. You can chase your side hustle and still pay your bills, bro. And school allows you to do that. Getting that credential allows you to do that. Investing in the education allows you to do that. A lot of people can't see that in the moment, because in the moment you're just going to class and it feels fun and you're not making much income during that time. You're working your side job, you're working whatever, you're not making that much income. But what's going to happen when you drop out of school is you're not going to make any income at all. And the 4 years is still going to pass and you're still going to be chasing your dreams, but you haven't moved in life. because you thought school was holding you back. You thought school was being a hindrance to you. And I can only speak on this because I've already walked that path. My education path was not that linear. We dropped out for a little bit to pursue my dreams. Life is not that black and white. You don't just drop out and you're on. Contrary to popular belief, success doesn't work like that. Aside from just the practical aspect of it, theoretical and principle aspect behind getting education is you're actually learning things that can be useful to a business or a side hustle. If you're majoring in business, right now I'm majoring in business. I'm learning how to run a business. I'm learning marketing. I'm learning finance. I'm learning accounting. I'm learning people management. I'm learning leadership. That's beneficial for my side hustle. Why would I drop that? And even if you want to say, oh, bro, that's all theory. That doesn't translate. Okay, well, you have the theory aspect, the degree, and your side hustle, the practical. You pair those together, you're not light years ahead of anybody that's doing either of those things separately. Why wouldn't you do that? Why would you drop either of the two? Let's say you're doing marketing and you want to be a content creator. You're learning SEO. You're learning hooks. You're learning how to write a persuasive script. You're learning human psychology behind why people click on things. Color psychology. Why do certain colors and certain shapes trigger a reaction? What incentivizes people to click on stuff? People gotta stop acting like school is out to get niggas, bro. Especially college. School is not out to get no. The very purpose of an academic institution is to level you up. We're at a point where people are fully choosing to opt out of education, and that's fine, B. Like I said, if education is not for you, it's not for you. But dudes be dropping out of something that is statistically proven to double and triple your income in 4 years and replacing it where you are statistically more likely to fail than succeed. That's what you giving up. You giving up 100 bands at a desk job to do YouTube, and you got a less than 5% chance of succeeding, gang. Oh, but bro, what if I'm the one? What if you not? What if you fall into the 95% of niggas that don't make it? And 95% of people is a lot of people. That means if you have 100 people, gang, only 5 of you are making it. That means 95% of you by chance are not making it. But if you get a degree, 50% of y'all are more likely to make 100 bands in a few years. Granted, you get a high income degree, high earning degree, nursing, software, business, engineering, like any STEM degree. You gonna double and triple your income. Why would you give that up? I'm gonna leave y'all with this. I just want y'all boys to think. That's, at the end of the day, that's all that it is. If you're gonna drop out, do it with a plan, and at least make sure you got some motion off some other things first before you drop out. Don't just drop out expecting you to go from point A to point B, because that's not how life works, and you'll get humbled real quick. That's what happened to me. Got humbled real quick. I was about to be the next Drake. That didn't happen, B. And we was locked in. But it's because you don't know what you don't know. And you give yourself the best fighting chance by giving yourself more credentials. You are more likely to succeed with the credential than you are without the credential. And that's not a bad thing. That's just real.